What's going on, folks? Ted from Nerd Immersion here, and we have more news, interesting stuff about changes up at Hasbro and a sort of promotion, if you will, for Wizards of the Coast. A couple of articles. I have part of a Wall Street Journal article because I'm not going to subscribe to it for the purposes of one video, but here we go. So comicbook.com released this today. Wizards of the Coast gets a promotion at Hasbro. This was only a few minutes ago. So Hasbro will announce later today at an investor event that they're going to basically split stuff out. And if you check that article here, they're going to capitalize on a pandemic-fueled boom in old-school tabletop games, creating a separate division around the publisher of Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering. D&D and Magic have been bright spots for the maker of Monopoly and Transformers action figures. Their publisher, Wizards of the Coast LLC, posted revenue of $816 million last year, up 24% from 2019. Fueled by what Hasbro says were record years for the two brands. Overall, Hasbro's net revenue fell 8% last year to $4.57 billion, due in part to retail shutdowns related to COVID. Under the new structure, which the company plans to unveil at the investor event today, Thursday, Hasbro will be divided into 3 units. Consumer products will encompass toys like Transformers action figures and classic board games. Entertainment will be dedicated to licensing, distribution, and production of film and television content. Wizards and Digital will house the assets of Wizards of the Coast and focus on expanding the existing games, creating new ones, and overseeing digital licensing for the entire business. And then it basically says this hopes a reorg will allow to replicate Wizards of the Coast success in digital games and licensing for other properties like G.I. Joe, Transformers, and so on. But then the article ends because we don't have a Wall Street Journal subscription. But if we jump back to comicbook.com, it says it follows the announcement of Van Richten's guide. Also said, we'll go over this article, crossovers between Magic the Gathering, Lord of the Rings, and Warhammer 40k. Details on the crossover are scarce, but the crossover with Tolkien's seminal fantasy property will be a full expansion-style set. Both D&D and Magic have seen explosive growth over the last 5 years, and that's not been slowed by the pandemic. While D&D was benefited from increase in popular culture relevance and more fans coming in due to 2015 rules update, Magic has made inroads in digital with Magic the Gathering Arena, which is set to be released on mobile devices later this year. I thought it was out, but the two brands have also had major crossovers with we know there's going to be a D&D set in Magic, and there's been the two Magic settings in D&D. Hasbro reorganization will divide the company into 3 parts. In addition, the newly minted Wizards and Digital division, which will also, I think we just read that already, but it's working on multiple D&D TV and movie projects right now, in addition to a previously announced Magic the Gathering animated series. Several new video game projects are due to be announced today at Hasbro's event. We'll check here on the crossover article as well. Wall Street Journal was first to report Warhammer 40k and Lord of the Rings will be coming to Magic the Gathering, and Lord of the Rings gets a full expansion. Comicbook.com was able to independently confirm the reports. It's currently unclear whether Warhammer will have a full expansion set as well, or if this will be a secret lair drop similar to the crossover with The Walking Dead. I think this is all the same. Multiple crossovers. Yeah, the other divisions. Multiple new video games will be announced later today. So I don't know if that's multiple new video games in general or multiple new video games related to Dungeons and Dragons, which could be interesting. I'm trying to see if I have any other information that I received. Let's see. MTG full set, Warhammer, WotC Digital Division. Yeah, so there you go, folks. People were curious about this kind of stuff. So Wizards of the Coast, 24% profit up from 2019 in one of the worst years for most retail businesses. The pandemic, obviously, we've played a lot more D&D, a lot more online stuff, so that makes a lot of sense. A whole new division, so Wizards of the Coast, not fully separated from Hasbro, but now spun off into its own division. Interesting that it's Wizards and Digital. So I don't know, I don't know if this had any sort of echoing when we were talking about what's going on with D&D Beyond. I think that's still staying separate, but there's that conversation that we had. Does this mean more new D&D video games? We heard about that Dark Alliance, I think it was, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance or whatever it was, the one with the really awful trailer at the Video Game Awards from a few years ago that just sort of disappeared. Maybe that game, maybe more new D&D games. I didn't know there was a Magic animated series. This is exciting stuff. It's to the point where it's going to be announced. If I have more information from this investors meeting, if I can find any more stuff later today, I will, and I'll make a follow-up video. But let me know what you think. I'll put all the links to the articles in the description below if you guys would like to check it out for yourself. And, stay tuned to Nerd Immersion for more D&D news. As good a time as any to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.